What's in the bottle? Now, I've been remarkably restrained and opened this. I really wanted to open it when it arrived. I'll show you now. I've moved the tab a little bit, but I have not opened this bottle. I have a glass ready. I've tried to find a list of all the releases that this could be, but it hasn't been put online yet. It's probably online after this video comes out. If I have it, I will put it here. If not, I apologise. For those of you that don't know what this is, and why have I got a bottle that looks like it's either going to blow up or is something from a very old Batman film. This is from the Thompson Brothers. This is the release 2 of their Mystery Malt series. And these are all single malt whiskies. They can be anything from 4-year-old Locklears all the way through to 27, 29-year-old Ledaig and Ardbegs and that kind of thing. But it's 48.5%. There's a little bit of info on the back there. Camera probably won't focus too well on that. We have a 14-year-old Ben Rinnes. Oh, go. Ooh, that's a very nice colour. As with all Thompson Brothers products, they are all natural colour, non-chill filtered. What can I tell you about Ben Rinnes? Ben Rinnes is a particularly unusual distillery. It is famously part of the Flora and Fauna series from Diageo, but it majority makes up part of the Johnnie Walker blending series. So it's a single malt predominantly used for blending. You will find a lot of independent bottlings of it. And up until 2005, they used to triple distill whiskey, which is quite unusual. This, I would definitely assume, is a sherry barrel. If you take a look at that. And Ben Rinnes, it's house style. They have a 15-year-old Flora and Fauna bottle, which is quite heavily sherry matured. It isn't natural colour, but it's got a lot of sherry in it. And it's one of those whiskies which is very comparable to something like a Glenfarclas, like a entry-level Macallan. It's just sweet and approachable. It's not particularly over the top in any way. I've tried a lot of their indie bottlings of it. From Hunter Lang, Gordon MacPhail, Signatory, and in bourbon, Ben Rinnes is this beautiful pear juice, apple, green fruit style of whiskey. But here we have a 48.5%, ooh, sherry cask. I've just got a whiff of that. I mean, I assume that's sherry. I don't actually know. It could be port, could be Madeira. It's got these amazing aromas of sticky toffee and raisin. Yeah, I'm gonna say it is sherry. There's dates and figs and all that kind of lovely, sticky, autumnal, fruity stuff. Get a really nice aroma of chocolate biscuits from it as well. It's also quite perfumed. It's almost got this like rosewater, dark chocolate, Turkish delight thing. It's actually quite funny going into this because even though I know what the bottle is, in a way this is still a blind tasting. These bottles retail for about £65. I missed out on the first release and I was devastated. I saw it on a retailer's website, I cannot remember which one, and I was like, not really that interested. And then I didn't know what it was, and then I saw what the options were. And I think whether you get a 4-year-old Lockley, or whether you get a 29-year-old whatever, or a 14-year-old Ben Rinnes, or, you know, it's such a fun concept. All the bottles are exactly the same price. I think all the ABVs are the same as well. Yeah, this is somewhat of a classic big sherried Speyside. Not for the first time this year on Whisky Wednesday. The finish on this thing is quite remarkable. That's got an extremely long finish for a 14-year-old Ben Rinnes that's below 50%. That's very good. Also, when we talk about this bottle, I think this is genius. I think this concept is brilliant. I think, is it amazing that Thompson Brothers are the first indie bottlers to ever think of doing something like this? I think it's really off the scale in terms of how fun it is. I was in Hopscotch recently, which is an amazing whiskey bar in Liverpool, arguably the best whiskey bar in the country. And they had like 4 of these on the back. There was an Altmore 16 and a young Arden American and 2 others. If you're a whiskey fan, you walk into a bar and you just see this, automatically you'll go, what's that? If a product creates a question straight away from a consumer perspective, in a positive light, must sort of put that in there. I can only see this as good. This is wonderful. The taste on this 14-year-old Benrinnes, it's led by classic sherry notes of raisin and chocolate, and then you get these beautiful kind of roasted coffee notes out of it. I haven't given you guys, this is a clean glass, but for some reason it's very foggy. I'm just trying to see if we can get some like viscosity showing off of this product. It's not really doing that well in this light, but it's this stunning shade of orange. It's like burnt orange, but down the middle is just like this beautiful dessert trolley of flavours. But there's little bits of spice kicking around it. You get this little bit of cinnamon, you get this little bit of what could be considered maybe chili spice. But it's very mellow. And then the finish. So the finish on this, just before you begin to swallow it, you get this little peak in heat. And it comes across as oak. It comes across as an oak influence rather than anything else. And it's this beautifully long, I'm just going to add a bit of water to that, beautifully long, slightly bitter, roasted coffee, warming, autumnal, big jumper wearing hug kind of a whiskey. You know, I think this thing's perfect for those long sort of autumnal early winter walks when all the leaves are beginning to turn colour and the ground's covered in them and it's crispy and it's crunchy and you can just see your breath hanging in the air. This for me is that perfect kind of winter, late autumn style of whiskey. That doesn't mean I won't drink it now. Of course I'm going to drink it now. But this is really delicious. And for 65 quid, it's still quite a good price for an independently bottled 14-year-old Benrinnes at just under 50% ABV. Some of you would have been looking at a very old Ardbeg, so fair play to you. And the additional beauty of this is you can't find out what you've got until you've opened it. So if you open it and find out you've got an ancient bottle of Ardbeg, you then can't really sell that bottle, which is another incredible point that's going to stop flippers putting these straight on auction. Unless they don't open them and then just send them on, but you know, no one's going to really take a bargain on that. You better have to buy it for retail. With water, it does become a bit more honeyed. We've got more sort of orchard sweetness as well, which is what I mentioned about Benrinnes. We've got more of this kind of pear and apple note. It really mellows out the finish. You don't get that big hump of oak, and then those kind of soft, comfy autumnal notes. It just kind of sort of literally dilutes. It just kind of, it's nicely flavoured, but it just kind of runs a little bit under the radar. Still has really nice notes of like cinnamon and milk chocolate, but they're a little bit more compressed. Lovely, lovely bottle of whiskey, great idea, fabulous time. I'm gonna give it like a solid 8 out of 10. That's delicious. When I finally get shelves in here, that's gonna look brilliant, like just in the middle there. But thank you all for watching this. Thank you to the Thompson Brothers. I believe these bottles officially launched yesterday. So hopefully you were able to get one. It's all really fun. If they've done a batch 2, they'll do a release 3. And hopefully 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. But yeah, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the Thompson Brothers. I'll see you all next week. Cheers.